I'm going to talk about world military threat and what we can do for world peace. And it's not work. Okay, this is outline. And first, I would like to explain a little bit about some problems around Japan and around China and Israel, and at the end, what we can do for world peace. So first, what came to my mind first is missile launch of North Korea. And I often heard that North Korea launched missiles to the direction like towards Japan. And sometimes like for several times, they launched missiles and the missiles fell into Japanese economic zone. And also they do also like nuclear bomb tests, and it's definitely the world threat. So the next is Senkaku Islands. I guess many people don't know if you're from other countries than Japan. So like we have a problem over Senkaku Islands between Japan and China, and Senkaku Islands are located as shown in the map in the presentation. And yeah, these are Japanese islands. Like we claim that these are belonging to Japanese islands, and Japan has a decent evidence based on the history and the real fact. But suddenly, once petroleum was found in these islands, China suddenly started to say, oh, this is belonging to China. And since then, Chinese vessels attack on Japanese fishing boats like this. And we have a problem like this here. And when you look at the world affairs, world problems, Hong Kong and China is very surprising. Like Hong Kong, as everyone knows, like Hong Kong lost their democracy virtually, and the riot police made a serious impact on Hong Kongers. So this was very surprising, and I felt really sad. And also China and Taiwan. Taiwan has also a possibility that China unify Taiwan as well, like Hong Kong. And most recently, Israel and Hamas are now in trend. Like they use their weapons a lot, like attacking by missiles. And the Prime Minister of Israel said, we would exact a very heavy price from Hamas, and will continue to do so with brave force. And we continue as long as necessary in order to restore the quiet and security to the state of Israel. But just yesterday, he accepted a ceasefire. But yeah, so they went on the right track actually. Like this, they have to continue that like ceasefire. And most important thing is talk and solve problems without any weapons, right? But it's sometimes difficult. So like as an individual, what we can do for world peace is continue students speak out and build solid relationships beyond borders. Like as as Ken said, like in the beginning of this event, the purpose of this event is make, bright and peaceful future. And so by doing this event and continuing to interact with people from the world, we can, get closer to the world peace. And when I look at Japan, and also like what we can do for world peace is we should have more interest in world affairs. Like the reason why I came up with this idea is because, especially when I look at Japan, Japanese people have less interest in world affairs compared to people in different countries. So, yeah. So like we should have more interest in world affairs. And we are the ones who make our future. Like, I will conclude my presentation with a question, like how can we make more people have more interest in world affairs?
Yes, hello, and sorry for not being able to talk for a while because I was having some internet issues with my Wi-Fi. I moved on to my hotspot, so here I am now. I think the issue isn't more like to interest people in world conflicts and stuff like that. Basically, in my opinion, I think it is the consistency of interest that needs to be more addressed. See, all of us are very interested in world peace. Everyone in the world, at least I think most of the good people in the world. I would leave out at least probably world elites and other people whose main agenda is to basically perpetuate the war machine so that people can profit off of it. But aside from that, everyone else in the world is very interested in world peace. I think the big problem that us people need to start doing is to continue a consistent discussion for world peace and other issues of this sort to make sure that this becomes a part of everyone's daily. Because we will think about this all the time. We're thinking about world peace right now. But in a few weeks, we're probably going to be occupied with another issue. We have to, basically, I think what is more important is to make it a social, make everyone in society prioritize exactly what is important and keep those conversations going for a longer period of time. I think that would be the most effective way of going through this problem. Thanks.
So for this, I think we should start with the younger ones. You see, here also many people are not interested, and some who are interested are misinformed. So I think it should start at the schools. I think the teachers should start talking about it. And I think the parents should start discussing the world and why living, coexisting together is very important rather than the individual development. I said earlier that people are more focused on individual development. Mostly in Asia, I've seen this, and people are not like very much concerned about what's going on because everyone is busy in building a career or making money, or everyone is in the rat race. But it's important that once in a while, the places we go, the parks we go to, the classes we go to should take a session or talk about some pressing issues and inform the younger ones so that they keep discussing it with their parents, keep discussing it among their friends, and this information makes home in their brain, and then the processing keeps happening, and then they are genuinely concerned about the topic rather than being misinformed by someone, or rather than just like shaking it off over the head and blowing it off over the head. So I think it's important to start with the younger ones.
I actually have a question to the speaker. Why do you think do Japanese people have less interest in world affairs? What do you think affected it? Is it because Japan is considered as a developing country? That is why people are less, their interest is not as much as those who are in developing countries, like in the Philippines, for example. Does it have something to do with that?
What I think, in my opinion, like one of the factors that Japanese people don't have interest that much is like that language is the biggest part, I guess. Like, for example, when you look at Japanese TV and there's no English, and so like, I don't know, like, I think like it's all in Japanese, and I don't know. I think even if it's just a little, it's slower for Japanese people to get the news from the world than people from English-speaking countries. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. But yeah, of course, like there are news on like about world affairs on TV, but I just feel that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Shinji. Yes. Then this is just my opinion. In Japan, everything can be done in Japanese language only. Because we have good technologies, we have the very peaceful societies, and then we don't need to speak English. We don't need to understand English actually. All the part in daily life can be done Japanese only. That means we do not have access for the the resources in English. I mean the online article in English, YouTube videos in English. So most Japanese cannot understand these articles or the videos correctly. So we are interested in the world affairs, but the source is very much limited. So we Japanese need the article or videos in Japanese or with the Japanese subtitles. Then we can understand the whole stories. So I guess one of the reasons that Shinji thinks that the Japanese people have less interest of the world affairs is a language issue, I guess. This is just my
Thank
opinion.
you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Washi, please.
So basically, there's another thing that I think why Japan is usually less interested in world affairs is because, well, number one, Japan has actually been very, they haven't really been interested in world affairs for a very long time. Ever since a long time ago during the Tokugawa dynasty, they had sakoku, which is basically an isolationism. And ever since then, I think Japan has always been stuck, not really stuck, but more like they prefer to live their life in that way, in that isolationist situation. And also because of the way that they're geographically located, the fact that they're an island nation and that very little that happens in the world actually matters in Japan is another reason why why Japan is a little bit slow when it comes to coming into world affairs. But then again, it's probably to their advantage.
Thank you. You understand Japanese culture and history very much.
Yeah, I'm a very big I'm very interested in Japanese. Actually, my kids are actually quarter Japanese.
Maybe next time we should learn about your countries and cultures as well. Thank you very much.